Hello, future project managers. My name is Roger Buskill, and I will be your instructor in the project management class this summer. This is one of my favorite classes to teach because it is so relevant in your personal life. You might be planning projects at work, large or small. You might be planning projects at home through home renovations or even family vacations. But what this course is going to allow you to do is improve on the planning process using some of these project management elements that we will be working with this semester so that you will increase the success of a project. So let's get started. We find us here on the main page where the announcements are. Just to note, whenever I send out an announcement, you will get it also as an email in your card mail account. So you want to make sure that you're checking that account and having it readily available. So what I'm going to do is kind of go through our Blackboard site here, explaining some of the project management elements, some of the schedule itself, the assignments that you're going to be graded on, some of the resources and materials, and documentation that you will need for your team project, your virtual team project, I should say, and your particular discussion question. And then we'll take a look at how you're going to collaborate with your virtual teams. So let's get started. This first tab here, the Start Here tab, it just simply gives, this comes from IT, and I didn't change anything here. It gives you software accessibility information if you need it, and then some of the privacy links for each one of those. The syllabus, you can download the syllabus here, and I recommend that you do that and read it. I'm not going to go over the syllabus here, however. And just a little bit about me. So this is my contact information. It gives you my work phone. So we can do a phone call there by appointment, or we could you could use Collaborate, which is our online collaboration tool, or even Skype, if we need to communicate personally one-on-one. Of course, I'm always available for a phone call, and one thing, if you do have to call me for anything, leave a voicemail, because what happens is that voicemail is actually sent to my email, and I can listen to the recording of it via my email. So please be sure that you leave me a voicemail if I'm not available in the office. And I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible because I am on my email a lot, as you might readily understand. So let's look at the schedule. All of the information in this schedule is actually in this file that you can download. But some of the pertinent dates, we do start May 30th officially. I know I've opened it up early, and some of you have been playing around with some of the assignments and getting used to the website. But just a little bit about some of the due dates. If there is a due date, such as January 5th in this case, that means June 5th. That's June 5th at 11:59 p.m. In other words, it has to be before January 6th. So this MBTI exercise, many of you have already completed, and that is simply an entry on the discussion board. That is a graded assignment, and I enter that grade manually in your grade book. Same thing with the personal bio. Many of you have completed that. And there again, that's in a discussion board forum. And then I grade that as a manual entry in the grade book for you. We will have discussion questions, and each one of you will be responsible for one discussion question this semester. Some of you are assigned Chapter 1 discussion questions. Well, they are due by June 11th. They are due not only on the discussion board itself, but also in the assignment uploaded as a Word file. So it needs to be located in two places. But you're not finished. You also are required to make a comment on at least one of the other students' discussion board questions. So you'll notice the discussion question is due on 11th. Your comment is due 2 days later. So that gives you a chance to read all of the Chapter 1, in this case, discussion board questions, and then select one that you're most interested in, or that is is more relevant to you and make a comment on that. And I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that in depth in just a little while. If you've read some of the documentation, you will be on a project team, a virtual project team, and different project management elements will be due throughout the semester. The very first one is something I call the main doc. Someone is responsible for putting that together. And that's simply the team name and team members. But there'll be more information that'll be due later. Each one of the groups will have their own personal file exchange. So that's where it'll be due. Then Chapter 2 discussion questions are June 18th. This online participation survey, because it is virtual teams, 3 times during the semester, you're going to rate your team members on their participation. I'm the only one that sees those, and so that'll be 3 times. I will enter your grade manually after those are complete, and you'll see what your current rating is as far as participation. You will have a writing assignment that you do June 20th, and I'll be talking more about that later. And then the rest of these are the project management elements themselves on the group file exchange, questions on the discussion board forums. And then finally, you'll have a Kolb reflection paper due the 28th. Your final project will be 1 file, and that'll be due August 5th. And then your final participation survey, and then your Hallmark assessment, which is a personal project. So that's what the schedule looks like. It's important that you try to keep as best you can to this schedule, because this is just a 10-week semester. Normally we have 16 weeks, and we have a little bit more time to put these project management elements together. But it's really important that you work closely with your teams, and I'll be showing you how to do that later, and not get behind. Okay, so let's look at everything that you're going to be graded on, the learner engagement. So let's look into the graded assignments. The very first one is the discussion question. But here you're going to simply upload your personally assigned question and answer in this assignment. It should contain 3 parts. The answer that you got from the textbook, paraphrased, a bit of research on the question, probably from the internet, and including the citation, and your own opinion. And then you'll upload this to the learner engagement folder as a Word file. In other words, that's an assignment. And then the text of the answer to the discussion board so that your fellow students can make the comments. From the end of each of the chapters 1 through 5, and this is worth 10 points, but you only do 1. You only answer the question that you're assigned. And then you respond to one of the questions for each of the discussion boards from 1 through 5. So your comment will be 1 point. Having 5 different comments, however, for 5 points. So you can think of the entire assignment being worth 15 points. 10 points for your answer to your discussion question, and 5 total for each individual comment that you make for each discussion board. So this is the MBTI assignment. You notice it's not due till June 2nd, but most of you have already completed that. So the terminal objective for this particular assignment is simply to gain a better understanding of your personality. Personality is so important, and especially when you're dealing with people, developing a better understanding of them, and them developing a better understanding of you based on personality. So the enabling objectives is to understand how personality can play a part in team development. You're going to be a member of that virtual team, and you're going to state your MBTI preference on your team documents. Your personal bio. There again, many of you have completed this. Because we have virtual teams, this is a good way of getting a better understanding of your team members. So the terminal objective, the end result, is to gain a better understanding about the class in general and your team in particular. So the enabling objective is to write a bio of yourself. By explaining to the class about yourself, you'll gain a sense of belonging with your team. This, along with your MBTI, will give you insight in your team dynamic. And then your writing assignment. not due till June 20th. The terminal objective, again, the student will write a paper on a topic selected from the project management elements that we'll be studying. In other words, you could select SWOT and write about that. You could select risk assessment and write about that. So the rest of the terminal objective is it should be written in APA format with no misspelled words or incorrect grammar. So the enabling objective is how we're going to get to the terminal objective. You'll research and write a 4-paragraph paper on one of the project management tools that are included in your group project. You might consider writing about one of the project management elements that you are responsible for in your team assignment. So that'll give you a head start on the one that you're taking the lead on. Many times this is one of the first classes that you take in our program. So what I want to do is be able to observe your writing and research, become highly knowledgeable, for you to be highly knowledgeable in at least one of the project elements you'll be using. You have an assignment called the Livetext Assignment. Now you do not upload anything here. The purpose of this assignment is to assure you can properly log into and use your Livetext account. So what you'll do is upload the previous writing assignment right here, this assignment, to an assignment that's on Livetext. You're going to write a reflection paper in Kolb learning style. If you've never done that, I've got resources on our website that explains what the Kolb cycle is and some of the verbs that you can use and how to write that type of paper. But you write on the work that you've performed as a part of this class. The project management elements that you've done, the collaboration that you've done, the readings that you've done, the research that you've done. So all of that plays a part into writing a reflection paper. This is a reflection on the work that you've actually performed in this class. So the parts of it is a title page, introductory paragraph, the sections on the 4 different elements, a concluding paragraph, and a reference page. And you should label each section of the paper with the appropriate headings as stated above. Now this is going to be a large project. This is going to be worth 25 points. This is your team project. You'll notice it's not due until the end of the semester. But here again, you do not upload anything here. You've got a file exchange, is what's called in your group sites for this. So this lists what's the particulars of the assignment, and in the documents folder I'll explain this in detail. But these are the elements that you'll be working on and your team will be responsible for a mock project. And then lastly, your Hallmark Assessment, which is a personal project. There is the assessment is a rubric for that is attached here, and you want to make sure that you do look at that. So in essence, the rationale is you have worked on a project team all semester. This assignment gives you a chance to develop a project of your own using the project management tools you've learned about this semester. So you want to strive to make a project something that you can use now or in the future. Examples could be projects around the house, service-oriented projects, volunteer organization, actually at work if you want to. But the idea is that you get personal benefit for planning the project. The project, again, must show a good depth of understanding for each of its segments. So the product is you will design a real project in an area of interest, which must include all the items listed in the rubric. Because you will be on a virtual team, you're going to be measured, or you're going to be graded on your participation. I am not going to be grading it, however. You will be measured on your performance on your team by your teammates. So 3 times this semester, I'll be sending out a survey for you to fill out based on your team members. So you will rate them on their participation. And actually, that'll be worth 4 points at the end of the semester. I take a look at these and give up to 1 point. So this is 5 points on your final grade. So this is a letter grade or more. So you want to make sure that you are participating well, and you want to get a good start out on your team, and don't wait on others to take the lead. You jump in there and take the lead and make sure you're participating well in your team. But you will be also responsible for 1 comment per each discussion question. So your response must be more than complimentary, although it is okay to do. In other words, your response must be more than good job or great answer. You must add something to the answer, such as, well, I can compare this to, or, in my experience, something to that effect. So we need to think critically with not only our answers to the questions, but also with our responses. So I'm going to review your responses and place your grade here up to 1 point. So I'm going to jump over to the documents that I mentioned. There's 2 of them here that explains the process for the team project assignment and the discussion board questions. And here again, I've got the Hallmark Assessment rubric for your personal project here. Let's look at the team project assignment. I'm not going to go through all of this, but you should read this now. But basically, your team's going to be responsible for a mock project this semester. You must meet virtually to get to know each other, and that's what you're going to be using Collaborate Ultra for. So please read through the instructions on this document. But what you're going to be doing is you're going to be a large global 500 petrochemical company with 32,000 employees. You have acquired other entities in Germany, Mexico, and China, but the headquarters is still right here in Louisville. So what you're going to do is we have put together an ad hoc organization of personnel from various areas of the corporation. That's what your project team is. We've got 4 project teams. So go ahead and finish reading this information. You will be assigned 2 to 3 project management tools that you will be responsible for. And then I do have the due dates for each one of these and a list of each one of the teams and their responsibilities with these particular tools. This could still change somewhat because the end of the semester the beginning of the semester has not officially arrived. So we might be adding or deleting students from these particular teams. So make sure that you study this document in depth so that you understand what that your project team is responsible for. So let's go back to the documents. The next thing I mentioned was the discussion questions. So let's open that up. Increase the size a little bit. So this part is worth 10 points, and then you'll have 5 comments worth 1 point apiece. So you want to make sure that you read through this document also. Again, your answer must be in 3 parts. A reference from the textbook that supports your topic, and then the research that supports your topic, and your opinion. So it's 3 parts. So the grade for your answers to the question is based on the quality and depth of your answer. So a little bit again about your comment, more than just good job or great answer. It needs to add to the body of the discussion board. So here again, this is the assignment. Could change just a little bit, but it does give your name, the chapter, the question, and the due date. So that's more about the discussion question assignment itself. Let's go back to the resources and materials folder. This particular link is to this presentation. I mentioned Collaborate, and we're going to look at that in just a little bit. But I do have a couple of videos here, using Collaborate Ultra and how to get help with Collaborate. I mentioned there's going to be a number of project elements that you will be responsible for. You do not have to create these. I have a template for each one of the project management elements that you will be responsible for this semester. So you need to make this your own, however, such as each one of these will have a header on there that will contain generic information. You'll need to change that to make it your team's document. So that's the project templates. I explain each one of the project management elements by a prepared demonstration video, and they are in this folder right here. In other words, this is my explanation of SWOT, stakeholder analysis, business case, the financial spreadsheet, project charter, kickoff meeting. In other words, all of the project management elements that you're responsible for. I have a lecture, if you will. It's a voiceover PowerPoint that explains that particular project management element. Of course, they're all explained in the textbook also, but this is additional information. It's my take on those particular project management elements. So by viewing these videos, reading about those particular elements in the textbook, you should have a good understanding of how each one of these project management elements is devised. We used to have a tool called Tegrity. It's not much used anymore. It's a classroom capturing tool. What I have done, though, for each one of those lectures I just mentioned that are online, there is a companion PDF file. In other words, it is the original PowerPoint that I used, saved as a little file that has an image of the slide and the actual text that I used in the video. So for some reason you're having trouble with the video, you can always use this as a backup. I mentioned Kolb Learning Style. There's a number of different documents that you can take a look at concerning Kolb Learning Style. One particular one is this one, the experiential learning verbs. We'll go into more in depth later. But for each of one of those 4 sections that you write in, styles that you write in, there's particular verbs that you could use in each one of those. So there's a number of different resources about the Kolb Learning Style. There is a video on the Kolb Learning Style that's still appropriate, but it is pertinent and accurate. So let's go back to our main page here. Let's see. I mentioned project teams. There are 4 teams, and each of one of you are on a virtual project team. But I've developed what's called groups. And each one of these sites right here you can think of as a mini Blackboard. So let's look at Team 1. It shows the people that are the members of the group. And you have 3 tools: a file exchange, a group discussion board, and a way to send email. So this is where you're going to do a file collaboration, is when if you're responsible for a particular project management element, you allow the other team members to view your rough draft, the one that you're going to be discussing that week, to file exchange. So the way this works is simply you will add a file. So I'll browse my computer. What I usually do is select the name there, the file name, and put it right here. And then when you click submit, you will have uploaded that file to the file exchange. Now, any student, any of your teammates can now open this, look through it, and make comments on it. And that's how you will collaborate and make this a team effort. So that's how the file exchange works. Go back to Team 1. This is where you discuss anything to do with the team, but especially the project management elements that you will collaborate on. The way you do this, you create a forum for that particular topic. I'm going to create one right here that I will use all the time. And I'm going to call this Instructor Feedback. Here's where I will look at your team's progress, if you will. So after a due date for a particular project management element or elements, here is where I give you feedback on that particular project management element. So I will reuse this one every week. So you will create other forums, if you will, for any particular area that you will be discussing for that particular week. And then finally go back to Team 1. This is a nice feature. You can send email to just your team members. The easiest way to do this is, you'll notice I am included in your team. I included myself in every team. So you can just select all the team members, click the right arrow. When you send an email, even via this way, because it is going to me. I have a nomenclature I would like for you to use, because any email that I receive from any team or individual, I want it to go to an email folder. So if you type in ELFH 34150 and then the topic, when I receive this email, it'll go into a particular Exchange folder that I've created for this class. So it helps keep me organized, so I'd appreciate that. So then you just simply write your email and then click submit. I'm not going to click submit right now because this will go to all of these members. Something else you can do if you want to converse with just one particular person, and I want to send a particular email just to Danielle, I just select that one person's name, still keep in the topic, but I might put in the last name also. So anyway, that's how the email system works for your particular project team. I cancel that. So that's how all the group sites work. So whenever you click project team, only your team will show up here because I have myself entered in all of the teams. That's why all 4 of them show up. So the way that you're going to be communicating, not only through your team site, to your team mini blackboards, if you will, the actual collaboration is going to be with a tool called Collaborate Ultra. Now I've got a video on how to use this, so I'm not going to go through the actual ins and outs of using Collaborate because that is in another video. But I did want to show you that that you would just select your particular team for that week, and if you are the lead on a particular project management element, there will be 2 or 3 of you will be discussing that particular project management element this semester. So let's get back to the main Blackboard now. And we're just about finished. I'm going to click the home button here. So I know I've gone over a lot of information here, quite a bit, a lot to decipher. But I do recommend that you go through all the site, read through the assignments, and now start taking a look and getting together with your other project team members, because you're going to have to collaborate this semester on a project, a mock project, if you will. And that's what the projects are in the workplace for sure, or even if you're doing something personal with other family members that might not be in the same area. You need to be able to collaborate virtually on these different things. So that's really how the world of work works. Very rarely, especially for large businesses, even with large businesses that have multiple sites in a location, it's easier to collaborate virtually than it is to trying to get everybody together at a particular place. So that's what the essence of this class is about, is developing a project virtually with team members, and then being able to use the learning and experience from this mock project to a personal project that you will have gained benefit from as a part of this class. So that's all for now, and I'll talk with you more later.